Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel for Catch. My name is Sam and I am the founder and lead coach here at Catch, and we believe that unshakable confidence is the key to getting everything that you want in life and dating. So we talk about everything to do with confidence and mindset and how you implement that in your life, and specifically your dating and your relationship life. So in this video, we're going to be talking a bit about when you are building your confidence or changing the way that you date or changing your perceptions and your beliefs and how you see the world and choosing something different for yourself, that can be an unsettling process. And the reason that we say that is because often when you're building your confidence or you're changing your beliefs, and maybe in the past you didn't feel like a committed long-term relationship was something that you could achieve, and now you're starting to develop your confidence and your belief that that can be something that you can have in your life, and maybe you're starting to show up in a way that's different, whereby you're nurturing those connections in a healthier way, you're being more open and vulnerable, you're being more honest about what you want rather than just pushing those things away. That new level of vulnerability and believing that you can have something that you really want deep down that maybe in the past you haven't believed you can have, can feel very unsafe. And that's because our body and our brains love familiarity. And the reason that we form beliefs and form certain perceptions of the world is so that our brains and our body can respond to situations quickly. So with very minimal information about our environment, we can judge that situation and go, okay, I've seen this before, this is how I need to respond. And often we talk about that in terms of the fight or flight mode, right? So when we're triggered, we go into a fight or flight mode and we can go into an instant response, which is very helpful in a life or death situation, or if we put our hand on a hot stove. It is not as helpful when we're trying to make big changes in our lives, and it's our brain and our body trying to protect us, but it can make it more difficult for us to make some of those changes and get what we deep down really want, but feels scary up front. And actually what happens when we have a belief or we've experienced something a few times and our brain connects those dots and says, okay, when this scenario presents itself, this is what's eventually going to happen. You know, I'm dating someone who I like, I'm eventually going to get hurt, so I'm just going to push them away now so that I don't get hurt in the future. Those shortcuts get embedded as neural pathways in your brain. So they operate at a subconscious level, which means that you can respond without consciously thinking about it. So you might not even realize that you are self-sabotaging and pushing someone away when you feel unsafe, but that is what will continue to happen until you bring conscious awareness to it and very deliberately bring in some new beliefs and change. But because our brain and our body loves that familiarity and they've embedded these neural pathways with, look, we know this is going to happen, so why are you entertaining something else? Why are you trying to convince yourself that something different can happen when we know, or this has been our experience so far? So that's why we can get triggered more often and go into that fight or flight mode, feel anxious, feel urgent, fall back into old patterns of behaviour, and we can actually just feel very unsafe and insecure in our bodies because we're choosing something that, although we know we want and we see other people around us having and we know is possible for us, internally at a subconscious level, these neural pathways, these ways of thinking have been embedded, and we are now consciously choosing something else, but we might not have the evidence in our own lives, or we might not have focused on the evidence in our own lives as strongly as some of these beliefs that have and ways of thinking that have been embedded in our neural pathways and at a subconscious level. So if that's where you are, if you're watching some of this content or content from other coaches and you're actively working on your beliefs and your confidence and you're putting yourself out there, going for jobs that you maybe didn't consider yourself good enough for before, or building some of your skills, or you're approaching men or women more, or showing your interest, or even, you know, getting past a couple of dates and entertaining something more serious, and that feels unsafe for you, that doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get hurt. It doesn't mean that you've made the wrong choice. It means that you're going for something that you really want, and you're choosing a new reality and a new outcome to what you've experienced before. And so your body and your brain in the short term will resist that and will bring up some of these negative feelings potentially. But again, it's for you to persist. You can work through it. You can see what doubts and fears come up. What does that tell you about where your belief is? What do you need to reaffirm? What do you need to keep reminding yourself of? And you can use different techniques for that. So as I just said, you can use affirmations. I am able to create a healthy relationship. People are interested in commitment. For me, commitment is a normal, natural experience. For me, men, women want that commitment. Yeah, I am worthy of anyone that I'm interested in. I'm interesting and amazing and unique, and people are lucky to have me. Whatever it is that you need to tell yourself in that moment to settle yourself down. And if you keep doing that each time you're triggered, and even in times that you're not triggered, just remind yourself, right, this is the direction I'm going in. Over time, that will embed and change your neural pathways, change your beliefs. And then that reality or that outcome will start to feel inevitable to you. And you'll feel more confident and more secure that that is what you're going to achieve. And over time, the fear and any anxiety or feelings that come up and some of those behaviors that were self-sabotaging will decrease. So it's just up to you to stay true to what it is that you really want, believe in yourself, commit to that decision that you want something different for your life, and keep affirming and emotionally regulating and telling yourself that that's what's going to be true to you. Use the evidence around you, friends, family, celebrities who have been able to create that experience, and say, look, if they can do it, it can be true for me as well, because I'm good enough and I deserve it. So I hope that's been helpful. Would love to hear your experience below if this resonates or is something that has come up for you before. I know if you have any questions, please comment down below. Thank you for liking, sharing and subscribing, and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers, bye.